It is often argued that tall buildings, and all the more so skyscrapers, contribute to the homogenization of city, culture, architectural expression, and the global urban experience. Though certain parameters are common to skyscrapers all over the globe, in some places, local climate, culture, and even geopolitical situations influence the way tall buildings are conceived, designed, built, and used. Tel Aviv is a major seaside Mediterranean city and a financial and cultural hub of Israel. Over the course of the past 2 decades, significant high-rise development has been carried out in the city, blending with the existing low-rise urban fabric, redefining the city's skyline. An exploration of the high-rise residential experience in Tel Aviv reveals notable local-specific features. Much like other Mediterranean cities, Tel Aviv is dominated by its beaches, all year-round mild climate, as well as the warm cosmopolitan nature of its inhabitants. It is also known as a non-stop city, the city that never sleeps, and a party capital, with highly active, diverse nightlife. Bars, clubs, and even restaurants stay open well past midnight. It is named the best gay city in the world by numerous travel destination guidebooks, being one of the most popular destinations for LGBT community. It offers a wide variety of art, culture, entertainment, world-class cuisine, and a lively, liberal, dynamic 24/7 atmosphere. Architectural heritage consists of 2-story sandstone buildings from the turn of the 20th century, as well as 1920s neo-eclectic style buildings, combining European architecture with Middle East features such as arches, domes, and ornamental tiles originated in the adjacent Old Port City Jaffa. Tel Aviv's White City, around the city center, is comprised of more than 5,000 modernist Bauhaus buildings designed in the 1930s by German Jewish architects trained at the Bauhaus Modernist School of Architecture. By 2003, the White City of Tel Aviv was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site as the world's largest concentration of international style buildings in the world. Its attractiveness to both the young single crowd as well as more established families and older empty nesters is no wonder. Everyone wants to take part in the urban vibe and enjoy the city's lifestyle. The ever-growing demand results in increasing real estate prices, promoting increased density. On top of it all, Israel's population is growing rapidly, revealing one of the highest birth rates in Western countries, 2.96 babies per woman. Between the years 1950 and 2010, Israel's population grew from 1 million to 8 million residents. Current predictions assume an additional shocking growth into 20 million residents by 2050, all within the very narrow borders of Israel. Since land is scarce and high demand concentrates mostly within Tel Aviv, a dense vertical urban development pattern has become inevitable. During a short period of time, Tel Aviv's skyline has altered from 3 to 4-story low-rise into high-rise. This transformation tries very much to pay respect to public realm, local context, and culture, creating a new building typology. The residential high-rise of Tel Aviv demonstrates certain unique features, contributing to the creation of a local style and lifestyle, which is still in the making. These characteristics are clearly identified and exemplified by select projects, which best demonstrate the challenges, opportunities, problems, and relevant design solutions. Being a coastline city, Tel Aviv enjoys a Mediterranean climate, with hot and humid summers and mild, wet winters. Pursuing the pleasant outdoor experience all year round, with sunny days at the beach and fresh air, is simply a given. Enjoying the outdoor experience at one's own home played a role in the articulation of the local style 100 years ago and manages to find its way up even as density increases. Traditionally, living rooms open up onto balconies, allowing fresh air to flow inside, enjoying a light sea breeze while dining and hosting in the apartment's own outdoor space. The cantilevering balconies challenge the building's envelope system, posing horizontal interruptions to the vertical skin structure. Yet this feature is so ingrained in the local market that selling apartments in Israel without a balcony is practically impossible. Based on client preferences, marketing teams often request bigger balconies, even at the expense of precious interior GFA. An extreme example is W Tower, designed by Yashar Architects, in which a clever utilization of zoning plan regulations allowed each apartment to enjoy an exceptional vast balcony. Even denser layouts, accommodating the need for an increased number of dwelling units on each floor, still address the preference for fresh air and natural ventilation by maximizing fully operable windows. But the Mediterranean climate has its downsides: boiling hot days, blazing sun, unpleasant heat, and dazzle. Architects' attempt to cope with local conditions has evolved through the years. International style buildings feature louvers, trellises, overhanging roof ledges, double skin facades, brise-soleil, and of course the inevitable balconies. Nowadays, sustainable building codes are compelled by Tel Aviv municipality, forcing implementation of measures to ensure more efficient, climate-conscious buildings. Current accommodation in high-rise buildings often utilize technology. For example, integral blinds inserted in between glazing surfaces, automatically operated according to sun position. Additionally, modern articulation of traditional features can be seen in many buildings. In One Rothschild Boulevard, interconnecting beams between balconies shade the building's facade and relate to the White City architecture. The Israeli family differs in its high birth rate and can be characterized by its family-centric, family-oriented, hospitable culture. The center of family life is a large-span open kitchen, part of the living room area, an open flow layout addressing the values of this particular society. Even with an overflow of dining out and takeout options at hand, the residence culture maintains the meaningful home cooking, home dining, and hosting. Although rising prices result in smaller units, the apartment's layouts still address the hospitable standards, with large span open spaces, usually at the expense of smaller bedrooms. The mix of Tel Aviv's crowd, young singles, families, dinks, same-sex couples, empty nesters, foreign residents, and so forth, yields a variety of dwelling unit types and a mix of changing typical floors to meet the diverse tenants' needs. In that spirit, each tenant is allowed to hire his own interior designer and provide a personal layout. All features in the apartment, shelter excluded, are flexible, including sanitary fixtures. This freedom of expression in shaping one's living experience weighs heavily on tall buildings' infrastructure, challenging the vertical continuity of plumbing and M&E chefs and pipes, compelling substantial sand fill under flooring to accommodate pipe stream while maintaining acoustic standards. Of course, complex construction logistics is also involved, but it's not a recommended experience. Been there, done that. Several attempts to limit flexibility failed miserably and eventually caved in to democracy, personal choice and expression, and private living space design. Tel Aviv has been targeted by rockets several times in the last few years, the last time being the missile attack in 2014. Again, not a recommended experience. This very substantial geopolitical security threat is addressed by local regulations strictly requiring a concrete reinforced private shelter for each unit. In high-rise residential buildings, the shelters are stacked from top to bottom in a continuous reinforced structure all the way down from the rooftop to the building's deepest foundation. This rigid element challenges the building's envelope system, the conventional structural scheme, the flexible layout flow, and the underground parking plan. Most architects choose to conceal the shelter's tower, while a few utilize this feature as a visible design element, complementing the building, defining its slender proportions. Tel Aviv's most prized possession is its beachfront. The municipality protects it, prevents private initiatives from taking over and blocking the view, and preserves it as a public domain for everyone to enjoy. As high-rise buildings conquer the city sky, the desire to enjoy the view of the sun setting over the Mediterranean Sea is only natural. The outcome of this pursuit is positioning buildings facing west, maximizing the number of dwelling units able to enjoy a sea view. The sea view effect on real estate value provides a major incentive for tremendous efforts to obtain this goal. The mild climate and the proximity to the sea provide perfect conditions for enjoying buildings' recreational areas outdoors. Unlike in regions suffering rough climates, where the building's amenities, the fitness center, tenants clubhouse, pool, and so forth, are hidden and protected from the elements, in most TLV's luxury residential complexes, there's an exceptional effort to produce a place celebrating the location, its view, sea breeze, and city vibe. Building within the sensitive historic fabric of the White City encourages embracing its characteristics and suggesting a modern interpretation in the high-rise form. Since the proportions of high-rise buildings rise above the low-rise Bauhaus urban fabric, the result is landmark, iconic buildings which presence and volume are immense in their surrounding. The inherent tension between the old and the new, human street scale and slender, bigger-than-life form, is resolved differently by different architects, all paying respect to the legacy of the international style architecture in the existing urban fabric. Continuity of a stable municipal regime promotes clear policy and agenda, balancing the need for vertical density with the development of a pleasant, pedestrian-oriented public domain at street level. Tel Aviv Center is walkable. Most of the city is connected by cycling paths. The streets are crowded, the atmosphere is outgoing, and the mild climate allows it all to happen. Residential mixed-use complexes often combine heritage buildings and outdoor public open spaces, mostly as a result of municipal policy favoring public realm. A remarkable example is the development of Serona Park, jeweled by 19th century one-story Templar structures hosting leisure business establishment. The park is framed by 3 reserved and elegant high-rise residential towers, which perform as a background to the vibrant happening at street level. The high-rise living culture is still a new notion to Israelis, with no previous experience at the skyscraper scale. The dramatic change swept the city so rapidly, forcing adjustments in all aspects. Tremendous socioeconomic forces lead the way, while urban design and architecture adapt in search of the proper means to get it right. It is still a learning process by all: architects, consultants, engineers, developers, municipality, all thriving to improve the outcome and its relation to the local context, hoping for tall buildings that are relevant to the specifics of the place, reflecting the essence of TLV, the vibrant, non-stop party capital that never sleeps.